Welcome to episode 26 of the Drunken Arcanauts Origins campaign. I am Clancy, your DM, and this is a, barely 5th edition D&D campaign with lots of custom nonsense and made-up abilities and items and a really bizarre story with weird characters. So before we get too far in anything, want to do the shout-out for our patrons. We've got Mitch D, Cole J, Ethan S, Jess S, Skate P, and Scotty O, which I won't make the joke, but I want to.
Aww.
Know that, Scotty.
I always laugh so hard.
So if everybody can introduce themselves, their character, and just a quick, what's your character thinking about now that you have approached or I guess hit the shore of this new country of Egypt?
Okay. I'm Risky. I'm playing Brotisserie. I'm a Aarakocra barbarian, and I don't know, Brotisserie is real excited to find Dormarcus and hang out with his bro and his little baby arms.
I am Relevant. I am playing Liza, a human bard, and she's kind of worried about the weird shit that's going to happen, probably, because weird shit always happens.
No.
She's always at the center.
Nuh-uh. That was only once.
My name is Mark. I play Seth, a Tabaxi ranger, and we're about to go to the place where I'm from, and I'm very confused about what's going on with the ruler's situation, because that's not how it's supposed to go.
I'm Jay. I play Erdry. He's a half dark elf rogue, and he is just happy to be alive, but also is concerned because now he's 40% wraith, and he also just had a spell book jammed into his head. So he doesn't really know what's going on with himself.
He's probably just drunk.
So where we left off, the party had escaped the island where they had been, I guess, transported into another plane. They came back. They heard the legend of Dormarcus and his companions and are now on their way to Egypt, which is both the homeland of Seth and where Dormarcus was last seen. They did manage to piss off one of the potential future rulers of Egypt, or at a minimum, a member of his royal guard, when they tried to steal from him and found that apparently being a royal guard for an upcoming monarch means you're probably more dangerous than the average bear. Or the above average bear, even. So the party did that. Brotisserie slept with a stork woman and was good enough that she thought he must have been a prostitute. And then they managed to get away. And with some well-timed fog clouds and other very in-character nonsense, they managed to get to the city of Gutokli, which for the Egyptians means the glowing coast city. They have just arrived. They're pulling up to the docks, and the merchants are unloading their shady shit at this point, and going about their business. Before we get too far into it, Seth, so just so Seth is aware and you guys understand what he's talking about if he does bring it up in sort of passing, Seth is familiar enough with the culture of Egypt to know that it's ruled by a great sphinx, typically. And the way that the next ruler is chosen is the sphinx is reincarnated into any average citizen. Part of this is because that way, if all the citizens are happy under the rule of the just sphinx, then they will continue to bring their defenseless child, who is the next sphinx, to be turned into a sphinx again, right? So the soul continues to pass on after each sphinx dies. They go a few years, wait till the ruler reveals himself, and then that person becomes a sphinx and leads the Egyptians. It has, in the past, led to a culture that is very accommodating of the least fortunate, because any one of them could become the next ruler of the country, right? However, rumblings on the island told Seth some disturbing news. The chain of rulers has been broken somehow. At some point in the past, the spark, whatever told them that the soul was out there, disappeared. And the country sort of has fallen into disarray as they now need to choose a new monarch and figure out how to do all that. What you have heard, and I think all of you heard this, is that there's a king's moot that's about to happen between the largest ruling families and most powerful individuals in Egypt to pick who is going to be the Sphinx, or at this point, maybe Pharaoh rather than Sphinx anymore, to lead this country. One of those people is who you met on the island. They're on their way there, and apparently they have the backing of the country of Clea, or at least the rumors suggest that. So, as you guys embark on this, keep that in mind, that this country is experiencing some upheaval. And while it was a very friendly place for its citizens at one point, things have gotten rougher since you've been gone. However, also want to note, because of Liza's water breathing, you guys can breathe for the first time.
Thank you.
It's so stupid.
So what are you guys up to? You're on the boat, you're at the dock. The smugglers, merchants, whatever they are, have basically ignored you. They don't seem to give a shit what you guys go and do at this point.
So we want to go find Dormarchus Patisserie, or?
Yeah.
Can we stop and go to an armory or something? I need another sword. This one sword is not going to do the trick.
Why do you need
What's
so
wrong
many
with it?
swords?
Yeah.
I need at least 2 swords. I only have 1 right now. I lost my other sword.
Maybe you can get your rapier back from Barissa.
She can keep it.
Barissa's dead.
What about my double hand axe? You could use that.
You know, something tells me I'm just not very good at using that. I've never used one before. I don't know why I would start today.
You just need some practice.
Fine, let's go shopping.
It's a quick trip. It's a quick one.
Uh-huh.
Just gonna buy the most expensive sword I can afford, you know?
Cool.
Okay.
So looking at the city, you can see it's clearly a pretty decent city. It's not as large as the capital of Palm, where you had been, but it's larger than any of the other towns that you've been to. That doesn't mean that it's particularly ritzy. It's just huge. It's spread all along the bank of the coast for miles, it looks like. Sandstone buildings, marketplaces, huge crowds, mostly tabaxi, although you can see other scattered folk in the crowds. It's just clearly very tabaxi dominated. And there's a market district. There is clearly like a fishmonger district. And then there's some town guards around and stuff, but really you're pretty free to move through the masses. But where are you looking for? What are you looking for first?
Just a place to buy some swords at, or any type of equipment like that.
Are you just looking around, or are you asking people? How are you trying to find it?
I'll probably ask people what like the nicest one in the area is.
Okay. The first few people that you ask all seem to point to the same direction and suggest that Forge Master Minx would be who you should talk to. He's in the core of the city, and he owns a giant Egyptian steelworks, which is what they're most famous for. Their Egyptian steel is different than normal steel and has attributes that aren't normally found in swords. It's not magical in nature, it's just a property of the metal itself.
All right, we'll go check it out.
What about the rest of you guys? Anything you're looking for?
Jeweler or something so I can sell some stuff.
Yeah, okay. The same district where Forge Master Minx is, there are a number of jewel crafters. They make use of his various forges to melt and smelt and all sorts of things so that they can create their jewelry. So same general direction for that. Liza, Seth?
I'm just gonna follow them because I'm poor.
Yeah, I'll go. I would go with Erdry. Hopefully, we're not splitting up right now, but I would just go look at swords and weapons because
Okay.
Seth has not ever had as much money as he has now.
So as you guys go through town, I want you each to just roll me perception checks.
Maybe I should just start busking.
22 for Seth.
22 for Seth.
Yeah, start
okay?
busking.
15.
Shit.
25.
12 with a 2 on the dice.
So I'm going to go in order from 12 up. Anything that you got at 12, you will automatically get at 15 or 20 or 25, right? So I'm going to start with 12. 12, you're seeing the city. You see the Tabaxi. They're more varied than you thought. Your experience with Tabaxi has been rather limited. The main one that you've seen at this point is Seth, but it looks like they come in all shapes and sizes. Some shaggy with thick hair, others who are short with almost no hair on them. They've got golden coats, calico. There are all sorts of various colors of these Tabaxi all over the place. There doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason to why they are different. It's just a facet of difference in how they are and how they choose to style and genetically how they, came out. But that's what you notice with the 12. 15, you're noticing that the more hardy individuals in town seem to always have wraps of some sort to protect against the wind or the sand. You're not seeing any real need for it in town, so you got to expect that apparently anybody who's traveling outside of town across the country is usually wrapping their face and any exposed skin to protect from the harsh desert sun and the sandstorms and everything. 20 and 25, you guys notice that throughout the crowd, while not nearly as numerous, not even close to as numerous as the Tabaxi, there is a definite Klean presence in the market. There are lizard folk and Tortol, and there are Wanti, and they're all just sort of milling about, right? They're there and marching around, and you get the sense that Clea is starting to enact its will unofficially over part of Egypt. Just by moving its population and its troops in, they're keeping the peace and they're not doing anything crazy, but there's more of them than there should be a continent away, right? So that's what you guys see as you make your way through. As you approach the Forge Master's district, you start to feel the heat actually increase, and you see that on the towers surrounding the district, there are giant multifaceted mirrors. These mirrors are reflecting the light into what is almost a laser in the center of the square. And that is where a very unique forge composed of thousands of mirrors focusing the light down into an anvil where metal is being struck repeatedly. It appears the forge here doesn't use any wood of any sort, which probably is a good thing. being a desert, there's not a lot of it around. But merely the sun's rays reflected and refracted over and over again to create extreme heat for them to work the metal and produce stuff from. You see a huge tabaxi, probably 6-7 feet tall, real thick arms, where all the fur has been burned off up to the elbows. It's covered in heavy scarring, probably from heat and blisters and probably working in that light. And he is forging currently a piece of what may be some sort of sword, but you're not sure. But there's a crowd watching him off to the side. Are you guys approaching? Are you watching? Or are you just going to look around in the nearby stalls?
I would watch.
I'm going to approach.
You're going to approach?
Yep.
Seth, you're going to watch?
Yeah.
Rotisserie Liza, you guys going to watch?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Erdry, you approach. Do you say anything or you just get closer?
I'm going to say, hey, bro, yo, I need like a sword or whatever.
And he says, "My name is not Bro. I am Mao Minx."
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
And
my name's Bro.
And he goes, "Oh, were you talking to him? That is my mistake."
Oh, yeah, it totally was. It's cool. Nice to meet you, Mo Minx.
Mao Minx.
Yeah, exactly. So I need a sword or whatever.
He is continuing to hammer, and he goes, "There are many fine shops nearby." And gestures behind him with his other hand. He's focused intently on the metal. He hasn't even looked at you yet.
I was more thinking I'd want to buy one of your swords, though.
I only make custom forged pieces. They are. And he stops striking for a minute and holds the piece into the light. And as he examines it, he says, "Quite expensive."
How expensive?
He goes, "Beyond the means of the average adventurer," and continues to strike.
That's fine. I've got more money than the average adventurer. You didn't really give me a price point.
He laughs and then throws the iron into the sand or whatever it is. And as it sizzles, you see the glass or the sand starting to turn to glass around the blade from the heat. And he picks it up with some tongs and throws it into a bucket of what may be water. The way it sizzles away immediately suggests it was water. And now he finally takes a look at you. Looking you up and down, he doesn't seem that impressed. And he says, "Well, what type of sword do you want?"
Well, I need either a rapier or, just something one-handed.
He seems unenthused by the thought of making a rapier. Just you can see a flick across his face that doesn't excite him. But when you loosen up to just a one-handed, he gestures to a series of images that are, I would say, carved into stone, but that's not really what it is. They're carved into the stone and then inlaid and filled with the metal he's working with. And you can see the shapes of various swords and spears, glaives and axes, maces, spears. There is a saber that is probably outside of the short sword or the broadsword, the closest thing to what you're asking for, if you're looking for something rapier-ish, right? Yeah. So there's a saber that he gestures to, and he says, "Like such?"
Yeah, like such.
He goes, "It will be 1,500 gold."
Okay, but how good is it?
And he says, if you have to ask, then maybe you should buy from a stall.
Yeah. I figured you might say something like that. How long does it take to make?
One cannot hurry craftsmanship, but I can make it in less than 2 days.
Done. Let's do it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
He gestures, and a small tiefling, I guess, guy comes running out with a little notebook and says, like, I'll take your money, sir. And gestures. He's like, what's your name?
Erdry.
Urgery?
Yep, Warsai.
Urgery Warsai. Got it.
Yep.
Now, what's your favorite color?
Black.
What's your favorite aminal?
My favorite what?
Your favorite aminal?
I don't know. What's yours?
Oh, I'm quite partial to earthworms.
That's weird.
They're so wriggly and long. I love it. Plus, they look like they got little bandages on them. It's so cute.
Yeah, I guess they do look like that, don't they? No, I'm not really an earthworm guy myself, or whatever you said.
Well, that's why I asked what you was.
Yeah. I really like, I don't know,
Birds.
birds. Birds are pretty cool.
He looks up and he goes, "Oh, I get you, meaning." And then he says, "And what's your favorite number?"
Jesus Christ. 6, I guess.
Okay, I'll take payment now.
Okay. I give him money.
Okay. He takes the 1,500 gold and he says, "Now, Master Meow Mix will be back out here in 2 days' time, and you'll have 2 hours to pick up your weapon, or he will strike it and melt it back down. You'll get half your money back for his wasted time."
Noted.
And he nods and then sort of ushers you back out of the way so that the crowd can watch him work again. But you notice he immediately starts working on your weapon. And it appears what he had been working on before, whatever that was, he basically scrapped. It was either practice or it just didn't turn out the way he wanted it to. What are the rest of you guys doing?
Hey, Liza, do you need better weapons?
What?
Liza,
What?
do you need better weapons?
I mean, probably.
Because these guys are dicks, so I wouldn't buy them anything, but we could go look.
Okay.
Fuck you guys. I'm going to go to the jeweler.
Okay.
I
Find
join
an engagement ring for
rotisserie
your
to the jeweler.
stork friend.
So Seth and Liza, you guys go, and there's a lot of different shopkeepers around, right? So the district's full of various tabaxi hawking their wares. It looks like the forge itself is not owned by Mao Minx. He gets the most time with it, and he's the most skilled, they say. But there's lots of other sword makers and armorers and stuff in the area, and they all have their own stalls. And more than a few of them have Egyptian silver weapons.
Hell yeah.
Or Egyptian steel weapons, sorry. So while you're looking around, what sort of weapons are you looking for in particular?
Seth is going to look for like a great sword or just see what kind of swords there are. He's got some stuff he can do with his arrows magically, so he wouldn't need that, but
so most of the I won't say every, but most kinds of weapons that you've seen are available in an Egyptian steel variant. Egyptian steel weapons naturally are going to be a +1 weapon, and they have the property thermally stable. This means that anything that makes them hot, like heats them up or cools them down or electrifies them or anything like that, it actually won't affect you. You can stick it right into molten like lava, and the heat won't travel up the blade to your hand at all. It makes them exceptionally good weapons against casters who specialize in like heat metal and stuff like that. Probably they were developed here in the desert due to the extreme heat and the fact that trying to hold a steel or iron weapon that's been sitting in the sun was basically asking to burn your hand off. So you can get almost any of them. They are more expensive than regular weapons, which there aren't much in the way of regular weapons around here. Nobody comes to Egypt to get regular weapons. So if you're looking for a great sword, that would be 250 gold.
That'd be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a +1 great sword, has thermally stable.
Ow, Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Liza, what about you?
Probably like a short sword, or because I already have a hand-me-down rapier.
You're sure you do. So you got a short sword. It's also a +1 weapon, has thermally stable, costs 150 gold.
Do you want that, Liza?
Yes, please.
Okay. I'll give her the gold because I don't want to be flashing around money in Egypt.
As you hand the money to Liza, you can see the shopkeeper sort of disapprovingly look at you. And you get the sense, just slightly, that she would have preferred to take the money from your hands than touch this dirty human. But it's fine. She's fine. She doesn't let it slip too much. Rotisserie and Erdry, you guys are in the sort of jewelers market part of the forge area. There's lots of different places. There is a few interesting shops. Everything else is just sort of stalls. And you get the sense, actually, both roll me perception. Or investigation would be better, actually.
22.
7.
That is an odd turn of events. Rotisserie, you, in a flash of very odd insight, recognize that the stalls here are charging way too much for regular old jewelry, like way too much. However, you also notice that the tabaxi around here seem to be really excited by the glint of jewelry and the reflections that it casts on walls and stuff. They seem to get really into it. So they're willing to pay way too much once they see it hit a wall and it's glinting around. They get caught up in it. The shops, however, seem to be slightly more legitimate businesses. Erdry, you don't pick up on any of that. You're just sort of like, yeah, there's stalls and shops and stalls. So are you guys planning to try and bargain through a shop or work through a stall?
I'm going to go to a shop.
Okay. There are 3 shops. There's one that's pretty nice. It's real big, and it's called, what is it called? It's called Cat's Eye Jewelers. Okay. There's one that is sort of medium-sized that called Perfect Match, and it's PURRFECT. And the last one is called the Scratching Post.
That sounds like a strip club.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, it may be both now. At this point, I suddenly want to make it both. No.
Go to a strip club, guys.
So you have the choice. The Scratching Post is the smallest one. It is a shop still, but it's smaller than the other two. Cat's Eye Jewelers is huge. It's real big. And Perfect Match is sort of in between, but it looks a little bit scummier just from the outside. It hasn't been well taken care of.
No. I'll go to the big one.
You go to the big one, Cat's Eye Jewelers?
Yeah.
They greet you as soon as you come in. There's a large cat woman sitting in a chair as you walk through the door. Welcome to Cat's Eye Jewelers. I hope you have a great day. And you're in the main store. It looks like there are tons of cases all around, probably going on for 50 yards, full of baubles and jewelry and all sorts of stuff. And there's a lady behind a counter at the far end who is buying stuff back. And there's signs everywhere that say, "We'll pay gold for your gold."
I'm going to go up and ask them if they'll pay gold for my silver.
And they say, a rather slick-looking, all-black cat person with white paws comes up and it says, "Well, hello there, sir. And of course we would love to pay you for that silver. Now, what kind of silver you got?"
Got this box. I want
And
to
he
put the
takes
big
a look
old
at the
heavy
box.
box on there.
He goes, "Well, that is, you know what? That's pretty fine grade silver. As you may know, there are 42 grades of silver, and this is at least grade 25, at least. You know what? As a personal favor, you seem like a good guy. We'll round it up. We'll treat it as grade 20 silver. And based on the cost to melt it down, got to get rid of the impurities. We got to fix the cylinder. It started melting from the heat the other day. Real pain in the ass."
That sounds like it's your issue, not the issue of this box.
Oh, you're absolutely right. I would never dare to charge you for my work. I'm just trying to think of a fair price to get you, and wherever I can save, I'll let you know, because maybe
This is
you can
from
just
another
take a lid
world.
off. When he looks at it, he goes, "I get that sense. I do. You know what? This is probably from farther than just across the ocean. Am I right?"
Now, this is true dwarven goblin silver.
He's like, "Oh, well,
Interdimensional.
interdimensional silver. Well, I did not know. Have you tried putting it into your water?"
Why would I do that?
I don't know. I'm just curious if you have. I'll try that out once I have it. I'll start you off at, 100 gold for it.
No.
And he goes, "No what?"
It's worth way more than that.
He goes, "I'm not sure it is. But you know what? You are fine to take it anywhere you'd like. And I'll match their price. I'll match it."
Okay. I'm just going to lift it off the counter and start walking out.
Okay. Right as you're about out the door, he goes, "Oh, you know what? You drive a hard bargain, sir. How about this? I'll give you 200 gold for it and 100 gold in store credit."
Seems like it's worth more all of a sudden.
And he's
Like you're trying to give me 3 times as
Sir.
much as what you first...
Sir, I just recognize that is an interesting art piece. I wouldn't even melt it down at this point. I'm just curious about keeping it for my own personal. I tell you, still, I'll match any price you find, but you're not going to find better than 300 gold for it.
All right, well, I'll go check.
He's sort of, damn it. And you walk out the door. Where are you headed to now?
Just the next one over.
Perfect Match it is. You go into Perfect Match, and it is mostly abandoned. It appears that this place is probably slowly going out of business. There aren't that many people in here. Certainly nobody greeted you when you came in the door. There's some sad signs that say Special M around with a bright red M. And it's just mostly empty. There is, however, a single tabaxi at the far end, again, behind a much smaller case of jewels and jewelry. And he seems excited by you entering and literally leaps over the counter and runs up to you. You see 3 more individuals come out of the woodwork and come running over. And they're all like, welcome to Perfect Match. What can we do for you? Yeah, what can we do for you? Do you need help finding anything? Like, oh, I mean, we got necklaces, we got earrings,
off.
and we got, and they all like sort of take a step back. They're like, sir, you know what? We can do whatever you need. You hear over a magical intercom in the background, somebody going, we got a blue light special on the green diamond earrings of Asganoth. Come get them for 50% off.
Oh, how much would you guys pay me for this gold or silver box?
A gold or silver box?
It's silver.
Well, we'd have to test it first, and there's a 50 gold fee to check the material quality, or we can just buy it from you, assuming it's there's 16 grades of silver out there, and this looks like a grade 13 to me. So we would have to test to see what sort of purity it's got.
Well, I already got offered 300.
300? Oh man, somebody was yanking your chain, sir. They were trying to rip you off. That is easily worth 350.
Huh. I think it's worth more than that. It's dwarf goblin silver.
I don't know how many dwarfs it gobbled, but if it's a mimic, I'm not sure we want it.
I don't know what that is.
They're just like staring at you, and they go, well, I mean, we could maybe if it was grade 10 silver, but it's hard to tell. It's pretty difficult to tell. We could weigh it and find out. Jamie, do you think you can go weigh this? And the small tabaxi to your right is like, yeah. And he holds out his arms for it.
Where are you weighing it?
He goes on the scale just behind the counter.
Okay, well, I'm going to supervise.
He goes, of course, sir. We here at Perfect Match are trying to help you find your perfect match. And he goes, and you look like a tourmaline fellow. And then they take the box. And you can see behind the counter, they have a sort of rudimentary scale. It's got a number of little blocks on the left made of some sort of maybe brass or something. And on the right side, he places the box and he begins placing the blocks, trying to balance the scales. He gets it to a certain point and then strokes his nose and he goes, Macy, will you come here? And the woman comes over and looks at it. Soon there are 6 employees standing around the box looking at it. And they turn around and they go, so this is pretty good stuff.
Yeah.
We can give you 600 gold for it right now, no questions asked.
Seems like the prices just keep like multiplying like the longer I talk to people.
That's true.
I could go
now
to
that
the
we've
next
weighed
shop
it-
and see if I can get 1,200 for it.
And the one is like, sir, I'm going to be honest with you. We haven't had a customer in months.
I could tell.
We need this. We can't afford to pay you more than $1,200 for it, but you can save all of us. Please.
So you're offering me $1,200 for it?
And the one like narrows her eyes and she goes, "We can pay you $600 and $600 in store credit."
I don't need jewelry.
And the guy's like, "I still think you're a tourmaline."
I don't know what the fuck that means.
He goes, "That just means that you don't know your perfect match."
Okay.
And they're like, come on, sir. Come
Wait,
on.
you guys have prostitutes here?
And everybody looks aghast except for one slightly heavier tabaxi who's like,
Oh, okay.
And he
Why don't
goes,
you guys just
"But I
advertise that?"
charge quite a bit."
Oh, I bet. Charge by the pound?
He goes, "Look, you wanna yowl with me, you better bring your best."
Huh. Okay, well,
Gross.
I'm gonna check the next place over.
As you leave, their eyes get big and they seem sad. As you cross the threshold, they're all standing at the door staring as you enter the scratching post. The scratching post is the smallest of the three. It looks like it's run by a single person, and they seem to specialize in magical jewelry now that you've gotten inside. They have a number of small pieces that are they're called warding collars. And they each have just a little bone. There's a warding collar of goblin, a warding collar of basilisk, a warding collar of allosaurus, and all these different warding collars. Each one has just a bone on it. There's then 3 larger warding collars. 2 larger, not warding collars, but fine pieces of jewelry. One, which is just a gem, is a brilliantly lit emerald, probably the size of your fist. It seems to glow from within and is sitting on a pedestal behind the counter. And it's called the Emerald of Divine Reforging. And then there is a necklace as well that has a series of brilliant white diamonds interlaced with rubies hanging all around it. And it's called the Chain of Iron Will. But the woman seems interested as soon as you walk through the door. And she's staring intently at the chest.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
What would you give me for this silver box?
She begins inspecting it, and she's tapping on it. She's listening to it. Oh, she rolled pretty good. And finally, she pulls out a knife and stabs into the side of it real hard.
What the fuck?
And it bounces off the side of it and sort of dink, 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 dink down it. And then she inspects where she was looking, and she says, "I can trade you 1,300 gold and one piece from the shop of your choice."
Are there price tags on the other stuff?
Would take it.
Erdry's just standing there like, yes, do it.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude.
And no, there's no price tags on anything in there. She doesn't have anything listed, but you can tell the pieces behind her are the ones that she probably cares most about.
Huh. Can you tell me more about it?
She says, I can tell you about the chain. The stone is different for all who break the enchantment on it. The chain grants the individual unmatched willpower. And basically what it does is it gives you expertise on wisdom saving throws. So double your proficiency bonus for wisdom saving throws, making it very hard to be mind controlled.
Other realm.
And then the stone, she merely says, this changes the way the magical pathways in your body work. And it's different for every individual.
Oh, I don't know if I have magic pathways.
And she sniffs you. She goes, I don't think so.
That sounds pretty good. What could you tell me about this necklace?
Which necklace is it?
The bone necklace that was in the box?
And she gestures to all the bone necklaces hanging around, and she says, this is a warding necklace. And her eyes narrow, and she goes, some sort of wraith, I suspect.
What does warding mean?
Oh, she's like, you don't even know what a ward. Oh, that's on me. A warding necklace protects you against a single strike from the creature the bone is taken from. The enchantment wraps it and protects you so that if you are struck, the bone will instead disintegrate instead of you. It's most useful for beasts that can kill you in a single blow.
It has. Okay. What would you give me for these gems?
What gems are they? How many?
I have 2 fist-size emeralds and 5 thumb-size rubies.
She looks at the rubies. She offers you 300 gold for them. And the emeralds, she spends more time looking at, quite a bit more time, and then offers you 800 gold for each.
Damn. Okay. Did you want to sell yours too, Erdry?
Yeah, sure. And I show her the fist-sized ruby.
She offers you 700 gold for the ruby.
I accept it.
Okay.
I also want to, once he's done, I want to show her that I want to figure out what the familiar amulet I have does, if she can figure it out. Because I've been carrying it around, too afraid to put it on.
What is it? When did you get it?
Well, I got it when I robbed the elf outside of, before we got on the boat.
Oh my God, that thing.
Yeah.
Well, fun thing is she rolled a 2. So she looks at it and she goes, it must be a powerful enchantment, but I can't pierce it. And she says, I'll take it off your hands for you, though.
How much?
And she looks and she thinks and she goes, I'm already running low on funds for today. How about the same offer I made your friend for his chest? One of anything in here. I'll trade you straight across.
And you said that necklace back there, it opens up magic pathways or something?
It changes the way that they work.
And it's different for everyone?
Yeah. Once
And
you
then-
grab the stone, you merely focus your will on it and crush it, and it will change you for the better,
Okay.
I'm told.
Oh, that sounds interesting. And then you said it also doubles your proficiency in
So
something.
the stone does the stone is of divine reforging. The necklace doubles your proficiency on wisdom saving throws. Grants
On
you
wisdom.
expertise for wisdom
And
saving throws.
on wisdom saving throws. Okay.
Yep.
Shit.
Rotisserie, are you taking her deal for the box and everything?
Yeah, that was what, 1,300?
1,300 plus one of anything in there.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that and
Okay.
sell the gems.
Okay. What are you picking for your necklace? You've got first option, unless you want to talk it over with Urgery.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna talk it with him because I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing.
I only remember one of the necklaces. I don't remember what anything else was.
There's the necklace for the wisdom saves. There's the
Mhm.
gem for divine reforging, and then everything else in there is a warding necklace that you
Oh.
can see at least.
What are the different warding?
Pretty much any type of beast you can imagine. There's a warding necklace for, including and up to dragons.
Oh wow. Is there? What was the creature that the royal guard person?
He's a lizard folk.
Is there a warding for lizard folk?
Do you ask her or do you just look around?
I'm gonna ask her.
She sort of looks behind you and her eyes dart around a little bit. And she says, she rolled an at one, and she says, technically it's illegal to make a warding necklace against any of the sentient species.
Why? What if they attack me?
Well, theoretically, in that case, they would be apprehended by those guards nearby.
What if the guards are those people?
And that's why we can't make them.
Ah. Do you still make them?
She sort of gestures to a particularly pathetic series of necklaces that are named like Ant Bite and wingless dragonfly. And for whatever reason, they seem to have bones on the necklaces, just like all the other ones, even though they're clearly for protecting against small bug bites. And she says, perhaps one of those would work in a pinch.
Oh. Okay. That's good to know. I'm gonna go pick one of the expensive ones.
Which one?
I don't know. Erdry, which one should I pick? I'll probably buy some of the lizard ones over there, but
I don't know.
who do you think we're gonna fight next that's gonna kill us?
I haven't even been able to predict what we have fought so far. So
I can barely remember what you fought.
You said there's a dragon one?
There is indeed.
I want to get the dragon one.
Okay. She hands you the dragon one. She turns to Erdry and asks him to select in exchange for that pendant that she can't identify.
You know, I think I'm just going to hold on to it for now and think about it, and maybe I'll come back later, and maybe we can make a deal then.
She says, as you wish. And you guys are done.
I wanted to buy one of the not lizard folk wardings that she was pointing at.
Oh, you're gonna buy one of those?
Yeah.
It's 1,000 gold.
Oh, damn. How much was the other one?
And she sort of looks and she goes, "Oh, supply and demand. You know how it is."
Okay. Fine. Yeah, I'll buy one.
Okay. Is that all you guys are actively buying in the shop? Everything else you're just gonna sell?
Yeah, I'm not gonna buy anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
And she bows as you guys leave and begins to put away the jewelry you assume to enchant, since that's what she seems to do. Seth, Liza, what are you guys doing after you get your weapons? Are you exploring the market? You go into the cake district? What sort of stupid
There's a
shit?
cake district.
No, there is not.
Oh.
Seth wants to boost his AC if possible with armor somewhere.
Ooh, with armor. Okay. There are a number of different armor smiths nearby. These ones are all stalls. They don't seem to have any particular stores for the armor smiths. There are a number of tabaxi ones, and then there's one stall that looks like it's been sort of battered, being run by a dwarf. You can go to any of the tabaxi ones. You can go to the one with the dwarf. You can tell me more specifically what you're looking for and just peruse.
Yeah, Seth probably is looking for like breastplate armor. I don't want to have any kind of disadvantage on stealth in the future. So
Okay.
I don't want to go to the dwarf either. Not had great experience with dwarves.
Wow. Another racist tabaxi. What a surprise. So you look around. There is a number of different breastplates you spot, but there's one that bears a familiar mark. The mark itself is one that you remember seeing before you left Egypt so long ago. You don't actually remember where, but you know you've seen it before. The sigil is very familiar. But it is a breastplate, and it is made of Egyptian steel.
Sweet. How much is it?
Apparently it's 400 gold.
That's fine.
But it has it's got +1 to AC compared to a normal breastplate, and has thermal stability, just like everything else made of Egyptian steel.
Hell yeah, Seth wants that.
Okay. They sell it to you.
Okay. Liza, do you want to
Liza?
go anywhere?
I think I might just like play my lute here
Yeah.
for a while.
You begin to play your lute, and you hear somebody else playing lute as well. A man, hooded, approaches playing a lute, like da-da-dow. He
God.
looks at you, and he flips a cloak off, and it is a half-elf human, it turns out. Well,
Is he
half
cute?
elf, half human. He's got a roguish sense about him, like an ugly Antonio Banderas.
Is Antonio
He
Banderas
goes by
hot?
the name Anthony Flags.
Are you getting into a loot battle right now?
And
Probably.
he yells around to the crowd, and he says, "Tabaxi of the great city, look at this foul failure with her disgusting loot. Watch as I defeat her in a duel." And he begins to play his lute. Are you going to engage, or are you just going to walk away?
You can do it,
Um,
Liza.
I'm gonna defend my honor and my awesome homemade skull loot
Your
and play
skloot?
back.
Okay. You are in a lute off.
Oh God.
And what I'm going to need you to do is explain what you're doing in addition to playing. So you'll be doing performance checks, but you also have to tell me what you're doing. So you're in a normal market. Think like the market in Aladdin, just for your mind's eye.
Okay.
And he immediately begins to jump up on a barrel, and then he's tilting it with his feet while he's playing until, like a can that is sort of in the middle of falling back to stable, it's rotating on its edges as he shifts around it, dancing and playing. And he gets a 17 on his first performance check. And he's playing just down, and he gestures to you and says, "Unless you're a coward." And he
Oh my
points
God.
accusingly with his lute.
Okay, well, I rolled a 27 for my first performance check. And
What are
I'm
you
going
doing?
to kick the barrel out from under him while I'm playing. But like in a
Ooh.
graceful way.
Let's see him make a dex save. It's a 22. Okay, yeah. He manages to keep his feet, but it definitely was a shaming move. He can tell he lost the first round.
Yeah, because he's a
Um,
bag.
At this, he begins to pull out a flute that has a bow string strapped across the back. And he is playing the lute and using the flute to draw across the strings. But the sound of the air passing through the flute as he does it is playing an additional melody. And he is sort of dancing around, and he's singing along with it now.
Oh no.
And he's saying, "The human woman in the marketplace, look at her and her stupid face." And he's just like dancing crazy. And second check is a 26 for performance.
This guy's the worst.
Sounds like he's pretty good.
Oh, fuck.
Oh no. Well,
At least it wasn't a 1.
So tell me what you're
Sure.
trying to do, and then tell me what you rolled.
I wrote a sweet song
What'd
on
you
the
say?
boat. I don't know. I don't remember what song I wrote on the boat, but I wrote one on the boat.
And you jump up to sing, and you go like, "I don't remember the song I wrote on the boat." And they're like, they're not lost, but that definitely second round went to him.
Yeah, I know.
And you can see at this point the common folk are starting to give you guys a bit of a circle, and they're throwing gold into a bag in the center. You suspect the custom is that whoever wins gets the bag of gold. He begins again to play. Ooh, that's not good for you. And he runs up a wall nearby and jumps and grabs hold of a post. And as he spins down it, the wind is playing the flute hooked onto the end of the lute. And he's just... And he says, "Look at her quiver and fail. In time she will begin to quail." And it's just like... He's playing more of a hard rock lute at this point, with his slam poetry backing it. An unextinguishable combination. And I won't tell you what he rolled until after you roll.
I hate this guy.
Well, I'll tell you.
With some
He got a
lyrics.
29 for that one.
Oh shit.
Fuck.
What's that?
Your second 2.
Another
Oh,
2.
God.
Oh,
What's that
no.
give you? Like a 12 or a 15 or something?
15.
15? he begins to, as he's coming down, he actually boops you on the head with the end of his lute. And he says, "It appears that you are no good at the lute. Maybe you should try my flute." But he doesn't offer the flute to you. He just points down at his crotch.
I was gonna say, is that a sexual innuendo?
Yep. And he stretches out his limbs, and you get the sense the first person to win 3 rounds wins the pot. And he says, "It is time I let the lady go first, because in fact she is the worst." And gestures to you. So
Are we in the crowd now?
yeah, I'll say you and Erdry show up, and you see Seth just like clapping along.
With Liza or the other guy?
You tell me. The other guy's winning handily right now.
I think I would cheer on Liza, even though she's doing such a bad job.
I'm gonna go ooh when he disses her.
Liza, tell me what you're doing and then roll. Do a backflip.
I'm gonna do a backflip.
Okay. You gotta do a backflip while you loot.
Yeah.
Okay. Roll me a performance, and we'll see how that looks real quick.
Is that 29?
29?
29.
Okay, you don't even have to roll an acrobatics. High on the performance, you actually jump on the end of a wagon, and right as an ox sort of like steps forward onto the other side of it, it flips you backwards, and you sail through the air playing your lute, and in fact have a moment where you're upside down, sort of face to face with the guy as you land behind him. You spit on him too?
Yeah.
Okay. You spit in his face.
Right in his mouth.
Oh no! And he nat won. He goes to sing his next line, and he's like, and you spit down his throat, and he just goes, oh my god! Oh my god! And he's just like, he drops his lute on the ground and immediately begins gagging. And he's like, "Do you know how gross that is? Oh my god! Oh my god!"
Do you know how gross you are?
He's like throwing up, and the crowd is laughing at him now.
I'm gonna. I want to try to get a chant going of a "You are gross, you are gross" in the crowd.
With that, you will take away the fact that he has had advantage this whole time. So now he will be rolling straight against you for the final rounds. You've each won 2 rounds. Your nat 1 took away his advantage. So no longer willing to play nice, he jumps immediately up and sort of wipes his face off with his sleeve and throws it down. I'm trying to think of something that's not super awful to say, but would still give him his, make his anger obvious. He begins to play again. This time, you sense, finally, he is actually weaving magic into his song. He appears to also have been a bard of some sort. And as he does this, he says, "We should attack the evil bitch. In fact, I think she is a witch." And he's going to roll performance. And then I'm going to make a bunch of, roll performance, then you'll roll performance. And then we'll see if his spell gets to make everybody roll DC saves.
Oh, can you do?
No! It's another nat 1.
Jesus.
Ooh, is he gonna die?
Actually, yes, because he rolled 2 nat 1s on his last performance check when he had advantage
He rolled 2 nat.
on the last performance check. Yeah,
With advantage.
So this is the third.
advantage, and then he just rolled another. That's a 1, right? That's not a 7. No, it's a 1.
Shit.
And as he does that, shit.
Roll yours, Katie. See what happens.
Yeah, actually, that would be a good way to help me figure out what the fuck caused him to die.
That's a 31.
Yep.
Whoa.
Oof. And as he says that, you begin to play right into his face, and you're like right up in his face, and he's backing up, up.
I'm going to say, why don't you quit, go home, and eat more spit?
And he's like, that was terrible,
I'm
as he
gonna spit
trips
on him.
backwards over a ledge, and you spit again right into his mouth as he's falling back, and he goes to breathe it in, and he aspirates your spit. And as he's choking and falling, his head slams into the pavement and cracks open, and you see blood start to pour out, and he clearly died.
I'm going to take his loot and his flute.
Well, I mean, that's covered under the loot. Woo! The crowd is aghast. And you hear a guy who's like, these bard battles are getting deadlier by the day.
Are they supposed to go like that?
It's
There's a
okay.
woman nearby who's suggesting that that's the fifth bard to die in a magic or in a singing duel this week. Apparently, in Egypt, they take it seriously.
Must have been beginner's luck because that was my first one.
You get his loot, you get his flute. The flute gives you advantage on performance checks against in any sort of 1v1 performance situation.
Got to do some more battles.
Yeah, something that is apparently pretty big in Egypt, but is not super well known outside of it. So, yeah, you get it. You get the sack of gold. There is a hefty 400 gold in the bag at this point. The crowd has been going wild with those rolls throughout. The finale did hurt it some. People stopped paying gold when the dude choked on spit and threw up. And then
Oh.
when he fell over and died, cracking his skull on the sidewalk, pretty much everybody was like, ooh, no, I wasn't here. I didn't see that. I wasn't participating.
Well, I'm gonna cheer. You totally killed that guy. Got him.
It's a real spy move.
Yeah, you guys are all back together, and it is quickly approaching nighttime. Is there anything that you guys are trying to do that night? Anything else you want to look for?
Man,
You've been
that was
wandering around
weird.
the city all day.
Go get
Actually,
drunk.
I'm gonna
Oh,
go.
what?
Is the shops all closed and stuff?
A lot of them are closing, but they're not all closed. Depends on where you want to go.
Is that blacksmith still there?
The one that Erdry met with?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's working on Erdry's sword.
I want to ask him how long it would take if he did a great axe, and whether it's going to be like several days after he finishes that sword or what.
He merely grunts and nods. He's very focused on the sword he's making at the moment. You can see that even though it is Egyptian steel, the sword is a deep midnight black. And as the twilight is fading, it appears that the sword itself is getting hard to see in the dark.
So was that a yes or?
And he just again nods.
Okay, well, I want to axe if I can get one. Do you have your little gremlin around here?
Maybe talk to the little tiefling guy or whatever.
That's what they're called.
And
Don't feed him after midnight.
he's focused enough, but you see the tiefling come out, and he goes, "Oh, sir, I ain't no gremlin, I ain't."
Well, I don't know.
Now you be wanting some sort of great axe?
I want a cool great axe.
He goes, "I'll be 2,500 gold."
That is a lot.
And he's like, "Well, yeah,
What if I
is."
trade in my shitty great axe too?
Do you show him the shitty great axe?
Yeah.
And he goes, "Well, we aren't supposed to take people's trash, but for 100 gold, I'll take that off your hands."
Okay.
So he holds his hand out for 100 gold so that he can throw that thing away.
What are you doing?
It's like, don't you want me to dispose of that axe?
Yeah. So give me 100 gold.
What? No, you gotta pay for trash disposal services.
Well, then pay me.
You already have the axe. I don't need it disposed of.
You have the axe.
What?
So give me the money.
He goes, "No." He throws the axe on the ground. And he goes,
Do you not know how trades work?
he seems confused by the whole situation at this point.
Classic.
In fact, nope. He rolls a nat 20 to see how confused he is. He's not done. He's like, here. And he just hands you the axe back and he goes, "Do you want a piece of history or do you want to give me a piece of shit axe?"
I was asking if I could do both.
You cannot.
But what's the history do?
And he gestures to the forge master behind him, and he says, "Master Mao makes weapons and armor that kings around the world will recognize.
But
He
that's
is
what I want.
known and beloved by all."
I don't want history. I want an axe.
Well, that's what I'm offering.
Is that the name of the axe?
It is now.
Okay. It's kind of terrible name. Fuck. 2,500?
Yup.
When's it done?
Well, start it soon as your friend's sword is done.
Fine.
You hand him 2,500 gold,
Yep.
and he says, "What is your favorite color?"
My favorite color?
Shit, bro.
Brown.
Like the shithawk of legends. What's your favorite aminal?
I guess a shithawk.
Shithawk himself. Wow. What your favorite number be?
Shithawk's favorite number. Who is
Oh.
Shithawk?
He's like, yeah, I could talk about Shithawk all day, but you're not gonna draw me into a religious debate. And he sort of like pats you on the back and scribbles something down. Cool. He writes something down in the favorite number column.
Okay.
And he goes, "Be back within 2 hours of exactly 8 days from now."
8 days?
Yeah.
Oh, what day is it now?
It is today.
Okay. 2 hours?
Yeah.
Fuck. Okay. What time is it right now?
He looks up at the sun and he says, "About 8 cat naps before midnight."
What's that in normal people time?
I don't know. I was raised by Tabaxi. Can you tell by my accent?
No.
I've been trying to hide it.
Well, I'm sorry for your loss.
You and me both, bud.
Are we done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay.
I think I need a drink after that loot battle.
That was pretty dope.
I mean, I killed a guy
Yeah.
and I made him throw up.
It seemed unnecessary.
So you guys
It
are
was
going
an accident.
to a nearby tavern?
Yeah.
Okay. There's a few taverns nearby.
Let's try them all. Bar hop.
You're going to bar hop or are you going to pick one?
Seth's gonna bar hop.
Liza's gonna go with him.
Okay. So there's 3 in the nearby area. There's hairballs,
Ew.
snips, snails, and mice and lice.
Ew.
Mm. This
So-
is a lovely place.
Seth goes to mice and lice.
You got a mice and lice?
Yeah.
And it says underneath that you see when you walk in, and it says everything a cat wants and has. And when you come in,
Just
everybody's just
simple.
sort of sitting down. It seems to be a little bit cramped. The room is full of smoke from various cigars and shit all over the place, but outside of making your eyes water a little bit, it's not too unpleasant. There's a bartender, and there's no tables. Everybody is standing. So you can grab a drink, but then you just got to go stand in a corner somewhere. The walls seem to be mostly covered by people because then they can lean against them.
Come on, Liza. Let's go get something.
Oh, okay. Do you have lice?
Do I have lice? Not yet.
Oh,
Not yet?
okay.
Oh, you're probably going to get it here, huh?
Yeah.
Should we get some like treatment for you for later?
No
Let's
thanks.
just get drunk.
Okay. Just concerned about your well-being. Let's get a drink.
Humans.
Yeah. Dummies.
Watch it.
Aren't you
So-
an elf?
Yeah.
Half human, half elf.
Are you guys all going into mice and lice?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we're gonna get some fucking lice.
Are you guys just taking whatever? Or are you asking for the house special? What's your plan of attack for drinks?
How special? What's on tap?
And they say, we got the lice bean contingency.
Yeah, one of those. You guys want one?
No, I only drink wine now.
Are there any haunted beers?
Haunted?
And they're like, no, think so.
That's good.
There's a nice family photo up on the wall, or family portrait. Shows 2 tabaxi people and a little tiefling kid.
Oh God.
But they pull out 1 lice bean contingency for Seth, because you ordered one, right?
Yeah.
Did anybody else order a house special?
I want like a beer or something.
Just a regular beer?
Yeah.
Boring.
Okay.
You guys are boring.
I mean, it has the word lice in it.
When in Egypt.
Stick with what you know.
they pull out some standard imported stuff from Palm, and they're like, if you're into that kind of thing. And they pour one for rotisserie. Liza, are you getting just a regular beer too?
Yeah.
Pour one for Liza. For the wines, it takes them a minute, and they come back and they're like, we only got this one wine. And they pull out the box that it's in, and fill up a cup for you. And they go, we call it, where'd that wine come from? Wine.
It's a cool name.
Because we don't know where it came from, but we know it's wine.
I was gonna say Fernsia.
It's not like haunted or anything, though, right?
And she pours a little bit into a shot glass and takes a drink, and she goes, no, not haunted, but not very good.
That's not very good. It's better than haunted, so I'll take it all the same.
Okay. It's 40 silver for the cup of wine, only 15 silver for the beers, and it's 5 silver for the lice bean contingency.
I got the first round, guys. I give them the money.
You each get you get them each a lice bean, or are you just paying for everybody?
I'll just pay for whatever they
Okay.
got.
I take a very small, delicate sip of the wine just to make sure it's not haunted.
When did you guys ever have haunted wine?
Roll me a Constitution save.
Five.
As you carefully begin to sip it, your focus on whether or not it's haunted and all that, you feel your mind pulling slightly. And for just the briefest of moments, you're outside your body above the tavern, and you can see far to the east a series of pyramid structures. And you can swear in the middle of those 3 structures under the ground is a glowing orange red for just a moment. And then it goes away. But you come back to, and you haven't actually taken a sip of the wine yet. You were just really focused on whether or not it was haunted. As the wine touches your mouth, you taste it. It tastes awful. It's not nearly the worst thing that you've drank by now, but it's not good wine. But it's not haunted.
Great, just my brain is. It sounds good.
Yep. The other drinks, they're all pretty good. The lice bean contingency is a little gritty as you drink it. It has what are called lice beans. Just in addition to being fermented from them, they throw a handful in for texture into every drink. And they're like jumping beans, basically. They're real tiny, and as you drink, you can feel them hopping around in your mouth. Provides a very unique experience.
It's like Pop Rocks beer.
Yeah, this is good, you guys. You should have got this, idiots.
I don't like lice.
How do you know?
I've ate lice before.
When?
Several times.
That's weird.
You think back to every time you've ever seen rotisserie like preening, and you're like, oh, he was probably picking lice out of his feathers. Yeah.
So I don't get too close to you.
Yeah, and with that, you guys are getting your drinks. The tavern itself isn't too crazy. It seems like this day is going to be pretty simple. If there's nothing else, then you guys can grab a room for the night.
Yeah,
They
that sounds
have
good.
rooms. They're fairly expensive. It seems like the city is always so full of people that the demand is high enough that they can charge a decent chunk for them. Rooms are 20 gold a night.
Seems like we might need a couple nights at least for all the sword nonsense you guys are doing.
Yeah, speaking of that, what are we gonna do for the next week? We've never even stayed in one place that long.
We can look. We gotta look for Dormarcus too.
Well,
Maybe we can like do some
Ask
side
around.
jobs or some odd jobs while we're here and make some
then-
money.
yeah, and then also like ask people about this religion and maybe track them down. Also, guys, I just had an out of body experience,
What
and
the hell?
I'm a little freaked out, and I feel like maybe I'm gonna die.
Are you sure you're just not drunk already?
Dude, that wine is haunted.
It's not haunted. Okay, here's the thing, guys. It's not haunted. And this is how I know it's not haunted because I had the experience before I started drinking the wine.
Huh. It's weird.
Did you
But-
smell it
but
first?
I saw like, no, I did. Oh, shit. I don't know. I
Maybe
saw like,
the smells are haunted.
I saw this pyramid and then there was like some, I don't know what happened so fast, but
Okay, that's kind of racist.
I want to sniff his wine.
You're seeing pyramids in Egypt. Interesting.
yeah, I
That's
mean,
not
I saw
out
the
of the
whole
ordinary.
landscape. Isn't that like, how's that racist to say that I saw something that is here?
Did you see Colosseums in Palm too?
In this particular experience, no, I didn't,
Okay.
but I have.
What'd you say, Rotisserie? Did you do something?
Oh, I was going to sniff his wine.
You sniffed the wine. Roll me a con save.
Oh, that's good. That is a 26.
Whoa.
You're able to sniff the wine and detect that it isn't made from grapes like normal wine. It's clearly made of some other grape-like thing. You suspect crabapple wine, but you're not sure. It's not very good though. It doesn't smell good, at least.
Haunted? Is it haunted?
It's from crab apples,
It's weird and gross.
but I'm
It's
not
not from
haunted.
here.
Not very good. You want to smell it?
Pass.
All right.
Okay. So you guys get your room. Are you getting one night or are you going to get a week or what?
Probably a week, because
Yeah,
we
I
can't
guess. So
we
any
have
kind
to
of
be here on time.
extended stay discount?
There is.
Yes.
You can get it 20 gold a night. You can do 110 gold for a week or 190 gold for 2 weeks.
Do
Per
the
person.
110 gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do a week.
110. Okay. So that's 440 for the four of you.
Yeah.
I just paid out of mine for my stay. I'm fucking broke already.
I'll pay
I
for
made a shit ton of money and I'm already broke.
I'll pay for me and Liza. I know Erdry has plenty of cash.
Yeah, I got plenty.
Oh, thanks.
So, you guys go to bed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that loot battle wore me out, man.
Okay. And with you guys going to sleep, we will end episode 26 of the Drunken Arcanauts Origins campaign. Thank you guys for listening, and I hope you have a good day. Cool.